Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with turning on the notification bell and thumbs ups. Really appreciate the thumbs ups, and drop your comments. Love the comments, been getting great comments lately, and they're helping me formulate some new ideas for some new videos, which hopefully I'll be able to put out more content in the near future. It's been difficult lately with time constraints, but normally, if you've been a longtime follower of Into the Knicks-Verse, you know that we put out a lot of analytical videos, not other than the recap videos and the pre-game shows and stuff. Hopefully, we'll be able to get back to that soon, and so turn on the notification bell so you're alerted when that happens. Also, something happened today. Yeah, Knicks played. They went down to Charlotte. They took care of business. They won. Here, let's get to the numbers here. 121-102. Third win in a row. First time they've won 3 games in a row this season since the 4th game of the season. After they dropped the Memphis game, they won 3 straight. And they were 3-1. So first 3-game winning streak. Nice. And they let Charlotte get over the century mark. They could have kept them under, and that would have been 3 games in a row that they kept an opponent under 100 points. Now, don't want to go crazy on this one because, Charlotte was incredibly depleted. They were without LaMelo Ball, without Mark Williams. They didn't even have DSJ, Dennis Smith Jr., no Cody Martin, and no Gordon Hayward. And both Gordon Hayward and Dennis Smith Jr. were available for the previous game against the Knicks, where, that game was like, what was it, 134, 131 or something, some crazy amount of scoring in that game. This was totally different. Tonight. So they took care of business. We have to be excited about that. There's no way to, we have to be pleased because we know, we've been watching this team for a very long time. They could have easily had a huge brain fart tonight and just collapsed and let this game go, let go of the rope. But they didn't. There's something beginning to happen on this team, and it's starting on the defensive end. We've been able to score enough points all season long. I know I feel like a broken record. I keep saying that. I keep trying to remind everybody. Everyone's like, oh, the Knicks are shit. Oh, they go on these scoring droughts and all that stuff. Yeah, well, check this out. So right now, we are 7th in the Eastern Conference. And I believe, actually, this is, when I did this, since I did this, the Sixers have won. So the Sixers may have leapfrogged over us and pushed us down. So maybe we're like tied for 7th with Atlanta and the Raptors. So we'll have to check that out. But, wait, I guess they did play the Raptors. Hold on, let me confirm that because I do want to be 100% on all of that. Let's see. Oh, it was the Lakers. What am I talking about? Yeah, so the Sixers did win. So the Sixers are leapfrog. They're up into the 6th spot. But we're right there. We're right there in the playoff hunt. Definitely in the play-in hunt. 500 team after 26 games. Something to be proud of. But also look at this. Points per game in the East. We're averaging almost 114 points per game, technically 113.9 for 3rd most, right behind the Celtics, who are having unbelievable season, and behind the Indiana Pacers, who are beginning to, they've lost 6 out of the last 10 games. Maybe the reality of NBA life is starting to catch up to them a little bit. But they're still right there. They still with 2 games over 500. Good thing for the Pacers. Shout out to them. However, first time since the very beginning of the season that the Knicks are in the green side of that differential. The Knicks are now a plus 0.4 in points differential. We are finally outscoring our opponents. So as a 500 team, that's a very important number. Very important number. It's distressing when you're kind of like around 500, but you're below on those in the points differential. This is a good sign. We've won 3 in a row, 5 out of the last 10. 5 out of the last 10, and we're pointing in the right direction. And a lot of that is attributed to the defense. It comes down to the defense. And ready. Here we go. This has been filtered out. All players that have played at least 14 games or more in the NBA, Miles McBride is number 1 in defensive rating. While he's on the court, the defensive rating is 87.7 for best in the NBA. Huge difference. I mean, I love Derrick Rose, but he's not the defensive guy that Miles McBride is. Now, he's not playing that many minutes yet. You know, he's barely, 9.5 minutes a game, and this is the whole season. That includes some garbage time and stuff. But lately, he's gotten into the rotation, and he's making the most of it. And shout out to him. I am loving what I'm seeing from our guy Miles McBride today. Let's see, what was his final stats today? He hit 3 of 7 overall. He provided 10 points and hit 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, and 2 steals. But his defense, it's all about his defense. But let's not overlook some other players on this list. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th. 15th best in defensive rating in the NBA is Immanuel Quickley. So when you have Immanuel Quickley and Deuce McBride on the court together, it's tough to score. It's tough to score on this team. Look at him. His defensive rating is 102.4. And his plus minus, his net rating is a 4.7. So the dude, Immanuel Quickley, even though he's been struggling in general from the beginning, started out struggling from shooting, he provides the defensive tenacity that that a Tom Thibodeau team must have to win. So it's happening right there. Look at some other names on this list. Darius Baisley, Raul Neto, Josh Green. Josh Green is an interesting player. I really like him. He might end up being something for sure. Ousmane Dieng, who we actually had drafted and then traded him away. Jordan McLaughlin, Dyson Daniels, another guy that we were looking at, interested. Grayson Allen is on here. Surprising. Dean Wade, very good defensive player for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is one of the reasons they are so. They're really a great defensive team. Matisse Thybulle, people have talked about him as possibly a defensive player of the year type guy. Juan Toscano Anderson, JT Thor, and Taj Gibson. Third. Good to see Taj there. And Josh Okogie. So just to show you what a big difference it has made inserting Miles McBride into the rotation on a consistent basis. In fact, he was the first guy off the bench tonight. That is right. First guy off the bench. All right, let's get back to this over here. Ian Begley, great tweet, summarized everything, so I put it in here. It's beautiful. RJ Barrett and Julius Randle combined for 59 points, and New York bothers Charlotte into 6 for 26 night from deep in road win. New York Knicks has won 3 straight since Tom Thibodeau tweaked rotation. Reddish, Rose, Fournier were DMPs again tonight, and that meant Deuce got in there. Grimes got in there. We also tightened it down. We're also without Obi, so we saw Jericho Sims had some minutes at the 4. It's hard to he shared the floor with iHeart, which I totally felt like that was probably going to happen. And New York Knicks opponents are 17 for 91 beyond the arc in the past 3 games. So the team that was basically allowing people, the team that's allowed the most 3-point attempts and the 4th most 3-point makes is now clamping it down, and there's no surprise that we've won 3 in a row. Let's celebrate this. This is fun. And RJ had a great game, and Julius had an excellent game. Julius got the whole thing going at first because RJ got off to a 0 for 4 start and then hit 8 in a row at one point. He connected on 8 in a row shots. That's the kind of stuff that I've been waiting for. And I got a feeling we're just at the beginning stages of that for RJ. I think he is starting to figure something out, and it's not jacking up threes. That's what he's figured out. In the past 5 games, RJ has put up 3 3-pointers today against Atlanta, 6 3-pointers, which is, around his average. He put up 7 against the Cavaliers, but only hit 2. He put up only 3 against Dallas and only 4 against Milwaukee. So he's starting to make better shot selection, shot decisions. He's starting to drive more, and I like this where you run the pistol action from the right side. It's a little deeper now He curls around, and he's able to find. He's able to find his teammates. He's looking for them, and sometimes he just gets all the way through, and he's finishing. He started off, he didn't finish a couple shots, and I'm starting to like, not again. But then he rattled off 8 in a row. Beautiful thing. He finished 9 of 18, 50% overall. Hit 1 of 3 of his 3-point shots. Hit 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 87.5%. He's averaging over 80% this year from the free throw line. How many times have we said, oh man, if RJ can just get up into like the 70, can he hit like 77% of his free throws? Well, he's up to 80% now. And that makes a world of difference. Love it. 4 dimes for him, 7 rebounds. He played 35 minutes, played a lot of minutes, early minutes. They finally sat him down. He finished with 26 points. And then Julius, excellent game for him. Excellent game for him. I'm liking the new Julius. He feels much more comfortable. He's not trying to do too much. That's the thing that I like about what he's been doing. And then defensively, he's engaged. I think also when he's on the court and they put Deuce in there and then IQ goes in and they're rotating, and Grimes also has made a big difference. It makes I think Randle probably feels exposed if he doesn't do a hard rotation. He doesn't rotate over hard, doesn't close out hard, he doesn't try to go for the rebound, he also doesn't hustle back. Because when you're on the court with those 3 guys and you're not doing that, you're going to look like a fool. So it's motivated him to engage even more defensively, and that has also helped. It's also a part why the Knicks have been keeping opponents to such. I mean, Bear almost kept their third opponent over 100 points tonight. Tonight he shot 7 of 18 overall, which is not fantastic, 38.9%. He hit 3 of 8 of his 3-point shots, 37.5%. But here's an interesting stat for Julius Randle. Tonight, Julius, he missed 3 free throws, but he shot 10 of 13 tonight. However, in the past 5 games, he's shot 30 free throws, connected on 27 of them. Tonight was the 3 that he missed. He has shot 90% from the free throw line in the past 5 games. Now, his 3-point shot, he's been kind of inconsistent. Against Atlanta, he hit 6 of 12. Tonight, he hit 37.5%. And against Dallas, he hit the same thing, 3 of 8. But the Cleveland and Milwaukee game, he's inconsistent. Overall, he's averaged in the past 5 games 32.5% from the 3-point line. And on the season as a whole, he's averaging 33.7%. So that's still something. It's interesting, but when his 3-point shot is dropping, he feels like a totally different person, and I love that about what he's been doing lately with his game. Unfortunately, Jalen Brunson struggled tonight, but not unfortunately, the Knicks won. It was the second game in a row that Brunson has struggled. I think there's been some wear and tear. The man, we watch, if you watch these games, he spends half the time on the floor getting picked up by his teammates after a drive or getting knocked down or getting an elbow in the face or whatever. The guy gets brutalized. I mean, pummeled. And lately, I think that wear and tear has been showing. It's showing on in terms of his efficiency. In his last 5 games from the 3-point line, he's averaging under 30%. 29.4%. And his overall field goal percentage, we're talking about a guy who is a 50, 40, 90 guy. That's what he is. Well, he's averaging 37.8% overall field goal percentage in the past 5 games. And tonight, he had 11 points. Against Atlanta, he had 8 points. So the guy's struggling. I wish that Thibs hadn't put him back in that 4th quarter, let him rest a little more. But maybe he was thinking that he could kind of shoot his way out of it. And sometimes when you feast on a weaker opponent, kind of gets you in the groove, gets you feeling good. But I think it's more wear and tear, and he just needs some rest. That's the deal with him. But the beautiful thing is he got 11 dimes. Got 11 dimes tonight, which is, that's nice. I think that's like his second most of the season, something like that. But fabulous in terms of that. But yeah, he needs to get a little more rest. Also, you can see it. He labors on the defensive end. Scary Terry was cooking him for periods of time. he still struggles. He struggles in terms of the defense. So when he's not making points, it's difficult. But tonight he owned the point guard role beautifully, and he dished out 11 dimes. Excellent. And RJ, 4 dimes. RJ 4 dimes, Quickley 4 dimes. That was basically the story in terms of the assists. What is the next most notable thing? Well, you can just see here. We had 7 players in double figures. Hartenstein didn't miss a shot tonight. He even hit a 3-pointer, which I'm glad, because there have been a couple of times recently he's passed up on some 3-point attempts and maybe was losing some confidence. So it was nice that he took one and he made it. So maybe that'll inspire him to shoot more, because we need that, especially if he's out there sharing the floor with Sims. With Obi out, someone needs to provide that 3-point shot in that second unit, and Sims doesn't do that. So it's going to have to be Isaiah. But he also picked up 8 rebounds and 2 assists and 11 points. This was one of his best games that he's had in quite a while. What else is notable? Well, Quickley had a very, very nice game for him overall. Even though he finished 4 of 11 in total for 36.4%, but he hit 3 of 7 from the 3-point line, 42.9%. Excellent for him. He finished a plus 11. Let's get to the plus minus. But let's talk Deuce. What I said, I mentioned him before. He hit 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 10 points. He just needs more time out there. When he goes to Westchester, he becomes Steph Curry, just hitting 3-pointers left and right. He comes here to the NBA. He's whiffing, but tonight he connected, and I think it's just a matter of confidence and just burn. More time on the floor and more opportunities, and that shot will become real. And if it does, if Deuce McBride's 3-point shot becomes something you can depend on, it doesn't have to be high volume, but when he's out there and he's got the look and he takes it and he makes it, that's going to change everything for that second unit. So I'm very excited about that. Quentin Grimes, even though he did finish with 4 of 8, and he made some, defense-wise, it's just, he's fun to watch. He's fun to watch defensively. But I wish he had followed up the previous game where he had, outstanding game, his first great game of this season. I wish he had followed up with that similar kind of efficiency from the 3-point line. Today, he only hit 1 of 4. Hopefully, this is just a little blip, and on Sunday, he can return to being that marksman that we know he is, and he showed us a little bit of it in the previous game. So let's hope that he gets back to that. Let's move on to the plus minus. Plus minus, ironically, Mitch was only a plus 6. He was the lowest of the starters, but he did end up with 13 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive rebounds, and 3 block shots. He actually set the tone in that first half. He was really disrupting the Charlotte Hornets, and it was at a time when they were kind of hanging around, and he was the one who was making the stand for the team. And that he only finished with 6 points, but 13 rebounds. I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day from Mitch Robinson. I just wish he developed some kind of a go-to move other than an alley-oop. We need something else from him other than that. Quickley was a plus 11. You can see Isaiah Hartenstein plus 13. This was probably one of Isaiah's best games, got to say. RJ plus 17. He was the high man, tied with Julius Randle, a plus 17. But look at Brunson. Even though he struggled tonight, only with 11 points, which is low for someone like him. Shot 23.1%. Only 25% from the 3-point line, but he still gives you a plus 13 while he's on the court because of the way he runs the offense. And I think he helps everyone else relax. And tonight we saw a different RJ Barrett. He was taking it to the hoop and finishing. Like and he was also dishing, which is an important, you got to be balanced in this game. It's similar to poker. In poker, if you don't have a balanced range, and if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you don't play poker, that's fine. But if you do, you know what I'm talking about. You can't be constantly always bluffing, and you can't be super tight and never bluffing. You have to be balanced. so that when you make a bet, no one knows what you're doing. That's what balance is in poker. And in basketball, you have to be balanced in terms of what you're doing when you're driving. You can't be, oh, he's the guy who's always going to go left and he's always going to try and finish. No, because then they don't know what to do. In this case, he was finally starting to find his teammates, and that's a beautiful thing. Let's keep that going, RJ. Keep it going. Charlotte, not much to talk about here. Kelly Oubre, 8 of 20, 2 of 8 from the three-point line. I'm so glad he's not a Knick. I'm so glad we never signed him, never went after him. He's fool's gold, in my opinion. Scary Terry, though, did end up with a nice game, 24 points, 10 of 19 overall, 3 of 7 from the three-point line, 6 rebounds, and 4 dimes. I would not mind a Scary Terry on this team. Not at all. But that's a whole other story, because there's so much to talk about in terms of roster construction. Look, even Book Night got 3 minutes today. All right, what is the final? Here it is, team stats. So Knicks overall and Charlotte, actually we shot almost identically overall. But from the three-point line, we hit 13 of 35, 37.1%. That's a decent number. I wish, I think in terms of when we go up to better shooting teams, more complete teams, we got to up that a little bit more, maybe 38 to 40 attempts and hit around that same percentage. I think we'll be fine. But the free throws, look at that. The New York Knicks went to the charity stripe 30 times, connected on 26 of them, 86.7%. Boom, boom, boom. Fabulous, fabulous. Rebounding, pretty much even. There was a lot of garbage time in that fourth quarter, so the team stats get a little skewed in that respect. We ended up with 25 dimes. It wasn't looking like that in the first half. We were not sharing the ball enough in the first half. Let's see, steals, blocks, good. Turnovers, 13, decent. Fast break points, they beat us a little bit there. Points in the paint was even. Fouls, they committed a few more fouls. Largest lead, we once had a 26-point lead. They only had a 3-point lead. The New York Knicks took care of business tonight. But nothing to get too excited about. Seriously. A lot of weird things happened, too. No Cam. On the first game, when Obi Toppin has to sit out because of his injury, his sore right knee, he'll be out at least 3 to 5 weeks. No Cam. Something must have happened. Something that we have not seen and we're not privy to must have happened between Tom Thibodeau and Cam Reddish in that locker room after that, I believe it was the Dallas game. Maybe eventually we'll find out what it is. Cam has denied asking for to be traded, but that's what a player has to do when they're asked, because you can't really ask for trades in public when you're on a roster during the season. But it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Now, okay, Charlotte, they were depleted, so they weren't going to be that big of a threat as an opponent. And remember, the Knicks let them hang around. The Knicks let them hang around for a while. It was only 22-20 after the first quarter. And at halftime, it was 57-49. No, 55-49. 55-49, sorry. So we were only up by 6 at the half. So maybe Thibs thought, this is a good opportunity to let Cam have some burn. I want to see that lineup with Cam, IQ out there, get some Grimes minutes, let Sims get some burn at the 4 with Isaiah Hartenstein. He was experimenting. And he thought if you put Cam in there, since he doesn't see Cam as a long-term piece on this team, that's what it says to me, then he figured I'll just stick with this. I think personally, that's a mistake, because Cam has tremendous value, and he should have the opportunity to win those minutes back that he lost when he got hurt initially and Grimes took his starting position. He should have that chance. He has a very high upside, but how can we see it if he keeps getting buried here? But I think it comes down to something personal between the two of them. Maybe that'll change. Thibs himself said, this is not about one player. I'm not going to put it on one player when they were asking about the Cam benching. And then he did say, he and Thibs himself said, it doesn't mean that this is what's going to continue happening. But that meaning that Cam's going to be out of the rotation. But tonight was a great night to put him back in the rotation, and he chose not to. So it's going to be interesting to see how this story develops. Fournier, I'm not as surprised that he didn't play in either with Derrick Rose. But still, the team is depleted. Well, we're down a key piece, Obi. Even though it's really frustrating, and Fred Katz made a great tweet earlier, you should check it out. Basically, he's like this interesting player where he can't get enough time on the court, but when he's hurt and missing, he's definitely missed. So it's an odd situation with Obi. Really odd situation. So things are right now definitely better than they were about a week ago when the Knicks were 10-13 and it looked like we were about to slide off into oblivion. But these have been weaker teams we've been facing. And not necessarily just weaker teams, but also teams that have been depleted. So it's hard to judge what it is that we're seeing. However, it's easy to see that the defensive intensity has risen since Grimes and Deuce. Well, Grimes was in the rotation, but since Deuce has been inserted in this rotation. And since the players themselves have made a greater commitment to get out there on the three-point line and defend it, to close. And I was seeing it, and there we have it now. It's finally bearing fruit. They still have a long way to go. But it's gonna happen. We play the Sacramento Kings on Sunday. That's gonna be a very interesting game. They come to the Garden. It's a 6 p.m. start. I'll probably be on Sports Vibes TV for their regular Sunday stream, which you guys should definitely catch. Never miss that. And it also dovetails into the pregame show. That's why they do it on those Sundays when there's a game. So I'll be on there. The Kings are 13-10. Knicks are 13-13. It's gonna be, and there's always something going on with Sabonis and Randle. It makes for interesting TV. It makes for interesting sports watching. So I'll be really looking forward to that game. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. I am into the Knicks-Verse. And please hit that thumbs up button and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your feelings and thoughts about this game and the trade rumors. And if you actually didn't catch the pregame show that I did with Keith today, catch it. We get into the recent Knicks trade rumors and news. And we discuss possibly should the team abort trying to win right now by any means necessary, or should they go looking towards the draft? So we get into that, the pluses and minuses about it. So check it out, and I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.